a very powerful earthquake has struck central Japan.
7.6 magnitude earthquake has struck Japan.
Minister Fumio Kishida says the country has reached a critical point.
Coastal regions of Japan on the west coast are under a tsunami warning.
On the 1st of January 2024, the world awoke to news of the earthquake in Japan and the tsunami that followed. On a day when many people are making plans for the year to come, nature has reminded humanity of the power of the elements and of its helplessness in the face of them. It is believed that a 7.6 magnitude earthquake is equivalent to the energy of more than 400 atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima in 1945. And the most frightening part of all is that such reports of extreme natural phenomena are becoming the sad norm of the news pages. According to UN reports, the number of natural disasters worldwide has almost doubled in the last 2 decades compared to the previous 20-year period. More than 4 billion people have been affected by natural disasters, with economic losses exceeding $2.5 trillion. Experts attribute this sharp rise in natural disasters to climate change caused by global warming. Scientists are recording a rise in the Earth's temperature and, as a result, more frequent extreme weather events, including droughts, floods, storms, hurricanes, and forest fires. And children are the most vulnerable to the impacts of the climate crisis. The environment in which a child grows up has an impact on the development of essential body functions. Weather-related disasters have forced 43.1 million children to flee their homes in 44 countries over the past 6 years. 1 in 3 of the world's 739 million children live in regions with high and very high water scarcity. In 2015, 197 countries around the world signed the Paris Agreement, in which representatives of nations developed measures to help them become carbon neutral and reduce their emissions. However, even as they ratified the agreement, many countries were thinking of backtracking, and as Mami Mizutori lamented, 5 years after the agreement was signed, countries aren't keeping their promises and continue to engage in self-destruction. At the Climate Summit in Dubai in 2023, the UN presented shocking figures that nearly $7 trillion of public and private funding is channeled annually into activities that harm the environment and contribute to climate change. Despite decades of calls to reduce funding for sectors that damage humanity's most precious resources, this investment now accounts for a whopping 7% of global GDP, 140 times more than private investment in green solutions. One example is the funding of artisanal and small-scale gold mining, which accounts for 20% of global production and is valued at around $30 billion a year. This industry employs more than 20 million miners in developing countries. Despite the huge amount of money involved, gold mining is based on primitive technology using highly toxic mercury, which does not biodegrade in nature. Emissions from heating and direct losses to soil and water exceed 2,000 tons per year. This means that mercury accumulates and is passed up the food chain, causing damage to the nervous, digestive, and immune systems of animals and humans. It is estimated that up to 100 million people are directly or indirectly exposed to mercury from small-scale gold mining. And this is just one of thousands of examples of man's terrible impact on nature. The point is, it's time to stop talking about the environment and start acting. Act, not with slogans, but with new economic approaches and material incentives. Let's take, for example, the mining of gold in the developing countries and the enormous damage it causes. Why do miners use environmentally harmful mining and processing methods that are more than 3,000 years old? The main reason for the use of mercury is obviously the cheapness of this method of ore processing and the lack of modern technology and investment. The consolidation of small-scale gold mining into single production and logistics centers can solve this problem. By consolidating raw material flows, it makes sense to build modern production centers and infrastructure facilities. allowing the introduction of environmentally friendly mercury-free technologies. This approach will make it possible to bring miners into the formal economy, improve their standard of living and quality of life, and protect the environment and the health of millions of people. The UN is initiating the establishment of such production and logistics centers in developing countries around the world. To combat the toxic footprint of gold mining, the Planet Gold program has been developed to facilitate the exchange of technical data and expertise between small-scale gold miners and governments. In August 2022, the UN officially opened a gold processing plant in Burkina Faso, where the process is mercury-free. However, small and medium-scale mining tends to be informal and not covered by existing national regulations. The reasons for this can vary. Governments may lack access to reliable information about the sector, be unable to provide administrative, technical and financial support, or support only large-scale mining operations. In such cases, an unconventional approach to organizing and doing business in developing countries is required. And the social, decentralized organizations created on blockchain networks can provide such an approach. With no political or governmental affiliations and using cryptocurrencies as a tool for unlimited settlements, they are able to implement investment projects in conditions that are difficult for traditional companies. As an example of such an organization, DAO Paykiken Geo, the first decentralized autonomous organization implementing a unique concept of collective investment in the commodity sectors of the world economy based on crypto technologies and artificial intelligence. Established in the Tron blockchain network, Paykiken Geo implements an investment policy aimed at solving the problem of efficient development of small and medium-sized deposits in developing countries by consolidating such deposits and creating new industrial enterprises. Acting in accordance with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, DAO Paykiken Geo focuses on the use of environmentally friendly technologies, renewable energy sources, respect for the interests of local communities, and development of their territories. Currently, Paykiken Geo is building a community of like-minded people and is working on projects to establish a gold mining and processing plant in Peru and exploration of tin mines in Zambia. By becoming a member of the DAO Paykiken Geo, everyone can make a contribution to the protection of the environment, not with words, but with deeds. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, ask questions on our social networks, and join our community. Links below the video.